All right, y'all, I'm gonna keep it completely 100 with you. My productivity system is a hot mess, but that's okay because it's time for a serious reset, right? And we've all been there. Too many apps, too many planners, too much stuff. It's almost like we get caught in the excitement of trying every new tool that promises to change our lives. But all it does is add to the chaos. So we're gonna strip it back to the basics. By the end of this video, I'm gonna have a productivity system that actually works for me, and I won't be drowning in a pile of apps and planners. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me for another video. This is Marquita from AtHomeWithQuita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Y'all, I am so excited about this video. It is long overdue. I too get caught up in watching videos here on YouTube that are designed to help me to be my best self. Of course, I share things with you here, but I also watch videos because I need help as well, okay? I'm not perfect, I'm still learning. So I ran across a video here some time ago about how to declutter your productivity system. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius, okay? I hadn't had time at that time to try it, but now is the day that I'm going to completely declutter my productivity system in hopes that it'll make me that much more productive. So let's go along for the journey and let's get into it. Okay, so first we need to talk about the 4 core things that you need to stay on top of your game. Okay, so every good productivity system is going to have 4 core things that you need to stay on top of your game. You're going to need a place to capture ideas. Second, you're gonna need a way to manage your tasks. Third, a calendar system. And fourth, a note-taking system. Now, all of this sounds easy, right? Because it is. All right, we're gonna dig a little deeper so that you can clean up and declutter and actually start crushing your to-dos. But this is the first step in the process because we need to know what a good productivity system looks like. All right, so these are the 4 core things that you want to make sure that you have included. Every good productivity system has all of these things just for a place for ideas, tasks, calendar, and note-taking. Now that we know what is included in the ideal productivity system, step 2 is that we need to make a list of all of our tools, okay? So first, we need to get a handle on what we're working with. And I'm sure if you're anything like me, you've got more tools than you realize. So you're gonna grab everything from your planner, your apps, your notebooks, email inboxes. Think of everything that you're currently using, anything where you jot stuff down. So this is kind of like cleaning out your closet, okay? We're gonna toss out what's unnecessary, but we need to know what we're working with. Okay, so here's what I'm working with. I have my planner, and then I also have my new learning notebook. I've also got my purse planner, and then I've got my calendar app on my phone. I've got Notion, my Apple Notes on my phone, my work email, my personal email, and I've got my 1 line a day journal. I know that's a lot, right? I feel like it's a lot, but this is my productivity system, okay? So yours is gonna look a little bit different from me. And don't worry, I'm gonna break down all of this into the 4 categories, okay? So now we're looking at step 2 in the process, okay? Step 1 was the make a list. So here's my list here. So step 2 is that I need to sort through my tools. So I need to categorize them. So now that I know what I'm dealing with, I have to organize everything. So I'm going to group my tools into 4 categories. Remember we talked about them earlier. So that's capture, task manager, calendar, and notes. So some of these tools might fit into more than one category like mine, but we're gonna sort everything out. So here's what that looks like for me. So my planner is considered capture and tasks. Okay, my learning notebook is capture. Well, I would say capture and notes. It's really more so notes. Okay, my purse planner, I would consider that capture and tasks. Okay, my calendar apps or app is tasks. My Notion is notes and capture. Apple Notes, of course, is notes. My work email is capture and tasks. Same for my personal. And my one line a day is my journal. So that would, I guess I would say would be notes. And I feel like it's notes. So we'll classify it as notes. And my Apple Notes is also ideas. And so is my Notion. So my Notion is capture, notes, and ideas. Okay, so we have our productivity system here. This is what it looks like. I've got all of these different tools that I use for various things, from capturing to tasks to ideas to notes. Okay, and looking at this right now, it does look like it's a lot to me too. And I hate that I have so many different sources of where I put information. And so that's why I'm doing this in hopes of just really cleaning things up. So that way I have a more streamlined system. Okay. But this is a part of the process. We need to figure out what we got going on and put it all on paper. So that way we can do something about it and we can really get everything cleaned and organized the way that's going to make us most productive. Okay. So now we're on to step 3. All right. So we want to clean up our capture method. And our capture method is all about grabbing those ideas before they vanish. And we need that. So we want to keep it simple and quick. All right. So a notebook, notes apps, whatever works for you. For me, I'm trying to seriously think about it so that I don't overcomplicate things. And again, have so much in different places. Okay. So let me show you all of my capture systems. So again, we set our planner. So this is my planner. And within my planner, I have various different sections, okay? So I'm just gonna talk you through kind of how things are looking for me right now. And then at the end of this video, I'm hoping to just have a better idea of how my new system is going to look. Okay, so within my home section, I have lots of different places where I keep notes about recipes and things like that. I kind of want to keep that the same because I just feel like I know that I can go and find what I need in this home section. So I don't really feel like I need to isolate that or add that to one specific notebook or anything like that. And I feel like when it comes to my planner, although it is chunky and there's a lot going on in the various sections, it is pretty streamlined. And so I really would love to be able to just have my planner as my one main system for productivity. I do love a good notebook, but if I can combine everything and not have to lug around a bunch of different things, that's what I would love to have happen here. But it's already so full, so it may be a little bit difficult to do that. And so I'm not sure if that's realistic for me. So I do stick to my planner mainly because it's just so easy to jot things down, especially because I'm just already using it. All right. And then, I try to come here on my phone and I look at my notes to be able to consolidate them into my planner. But if I'm honest, it doesn't always happen that way. And so, yes, I do love having the notes app here to capture various things. So if I come here, I try to keep this organized as well. And so if you look in here, you'll see I have various folders and things like that. So that way I can make sure that at least I can find things easily, even in digital form. And so I have, just different organization folders and things like that within this system as well. And I like the organization that I have here, so I'm not mad at that. And I know, like, if I have an At Home with Quita note, I'm going to come here to add the note, Fancy Plans code note, and so on and so forth. And so at least it is organized, but I want to do a better job of transitioning tasks out of here into my planner because, again, I do want this planner to be my main system for productivity. But for now, and especially if I'm on the go, I do love to be able to just jot down a note or two in here. It's just that I don't always do a good idea of taking this out of this capture system and putting it into my planner. Okay, so that's something that I'll just have to work on because I'm not quite ready to get rid of my Apple Notes. It's just always with me. My phone is always with me, and plus, again, it functions like a file. Okay, so this is a capture system that I have to keep. All right, I know what I need to do better at doing. And when it comes to having a notebook, I don't really have a notebook for capturing ideas. The thing that I use kind of as a notebook is my purse planner. So this is the real sore spot for me right now. And the reason for that is because I don't really use a purse. So how can you use a purse planner if you don't really use a purse? Okay, so this is my wallet as well. So I do try to, of course, take this with me because it has my ID and all of the other things in it that I need to have while I'm on the go, my credit cards and all that. Although, again, my phone is my main thing because my credit cards and everything is on my phone. So that's why I find myself, sometimes I do leave my wallet at home. And now that we can put our ID in our phone, then I don't really always see a need to bring this, okay? So I do have a lot going on in here in terms of my various sections, and how I typically use this is if I'm on the go and someone asks, if we're available, I try to keep this up to date. That's another sore thing is that I don't always keep this up to date, and it doesn't serve as much of a purpose if I don't have my calendar written in to even tell people, hey, when they ask if I have something going on, yes or no, you know what I mean? So if I don't have this updated, then it's not serving me anyways, okay? But I would typically come here, look at the calendar and say, oh yeah, we're available. But again, I'm using my calendar in my phone as well, and I try to keep that updated with appointments and things like that. My calendar system here is typically going to be for everything. So that's why this would work so well if I was to keep up with it. And then also my shopping list. So if I know I'm heading to the grocery store, I'll put the list here. That way I could just take it with me to the store. I have a section for expenses, goals, trackers, and notes. And so if I wanted to jot down rather an idea, a thought, or something like that, I will put it in this note section. So this is kind of would be my capture system when it comes to just random thoughts, and just dumping it all out here and having a resource for that. But I'm really contemplating whether or not I need this anymore, because again, we're trying to simplify our systems. So again, we're talking about cleaning up our capture method. This is a capture method for me, not always consistent with it. And so we're going to talk about at the end of the video whether or not I decide to keep this. So this is a maybe. So we're gonna put that to the side because if I'm honest, it does create a lot more things for me to do and for me to keep up with. And that's why, again, we need to simplify that system. So my planner is my main system for capturing. Again, my Apple Notes we talked about as well. That's a capture system that I'm going to keep. My purse planner is a maybe. And then Notion is a big system for me that I use to capture a lot of different things. When it comes to business, social media, not so much my personal life, it's mainly business and social media. Okay, so just to give you a quick peek at my Notion, this would be so difficult for me to get rid of, but I want to talk through how I use it. Maybe I can simplify it even more because again, this is a lot to keep up with because we're already keeping up with our planner, and then now Notion, we talked about the notes on my phone. So there's a lot of moving parts, but I do love to be able to add ideas within my Notion. Notion is just so awesome. I'm a big advocate for Notion. You can split it up into different things, different parts of your business, different parts of your life, which is what you see here on the left-hand side. And I can also access it from my phone. So I can put a thought or idea on my phone and then come to my computer, which is where I am now, and I can see that thought or idea. So Notion is just so awesome for you to be able to just get it out of your head, categorize everything. I have a pretty clean system here, and to be able to start attacking those ideas. So this is my Quita's Food and Fit. I have my At Home with Quita, which has various moving parts for my bio, my financial stuff, projects that I'm working on, a task list, brand deals. I have all of my YouTube videos here so that way I can schedule everything out. Sometimes I'll come in, this is what we're working on now today. I'll come in and I'll put the script here. If I have an inspiration video, I'll add that in there. If I have a thumbnail, I'll go ahead and put that in there. I try to put as much information here as possible to be able to just come here and be ready to go. And so this is just such a great system for me to be able to capture. Again, I added this as a notes, capture, and ideas. And it is very much true to that. And it's been such an effective system for me that I know for sure that this is going to stay in my productivity toolkit. Okay, and then when we come here to Fancy Plans Co., all the things are here. I know all of the Reels, TikToks, Shorts that I'm doing. I try to schedule things out as much in advance as possible. So that way, again, I know exactly what I'm doing on a daily basis. This is just such a brilliant system for me. And to be honest with you, I really do wish that I could just go to an all Notion system, because Notion just makes it so easy to be able to just do all the things digitally without having to worry about writing in a paper planner. I really think that eventually that may be the way to go for me. I'm not quite sure yet, because I love a good paper planner. I love being able to write all the things in my planner system, to be able to look at everything. Just the act of writing for me gives me all the feels. And so yes, I love Notion, and I think that it serves its purpose for what I'm using it for, but I'm just not sure if I could transition over to that sort of system fully. But for now, we'll keep it in my capture system. So for now, I believe we've got it narrowed down to what we're going to use for our capture systems. And that's going to be my planner, because I have to have it, okay? And then also we're going to stick with our phone, because it's just a great place to just, although Notion is there for me as well, I feel like this sort of system is just great for random thoughts. Notion is too, but I don't really use Notion for that. And so I'll be able to come here if I have just a random thought and I just don't have my purse planner, which may not even be in existence anymore right now, then I'll be able to get it out of my head and in some form of writing it down, whether, this would be digital in this case. And then again, we know we need to work on getting it off here and into our planners. And into our planners would typically go in my note box or my inbox. So this is my main capture system for my planner. I do have various other sections that we just talked about where I may write a note or two, but the main capture system for my planner is my inbox. And so whenever I do have a random note or idea, I come here and I dump it out. And again, we typically try to get it from our phones if possible, if we remember. I try to do well by that on a Sunday, just sitting down, getting this out of here and into my planner. And then for my planner, it's going to get assigned to a month or a week. Whenever I want to tackle it. I try to put a due date here so that way I know when I want to do it, but I don't always do that. Sometimes I'll just come here and pull a task and then I'll assign it to whenever I feel like I can complete it. So this is my main system for capturing. So again, planner is my capture system. That's what we're talking about now. And then my purse planner, my Notion is my capture system. My work email is also, and my personal email is also a capture system. I like to organize things in my inbox into folders. So I'll kind of show you how that looks for me. And I think this is one system that I'm going to do away with because it was a lot to manage. Again, we're trying to work smarter, not harder. And so we need to be, really intentional with the systems that we're using. So I'll show you really briefly kind of how I have that organized. Okay, so this is my email inbox here. And so I have various folders based on just all of the different moving parts of whether it's my business or my personal life. And I like to be able to have everything sorted out so that way I can easily access things, and I'll sometimes have things automatically go to those specific folders. So that way, again, everything just stays streamlined and organized. As you can see in my personal inbox, I've got a bunch of different folders. I have some craft projects that I wanted to do. I have subfolders for that. I have DIY projects, home projects, furniture, things like that I wanted to work on, Etsy ideas, home management ideas, all of that stuff is sorted out and organized here. And this system really, really worked well for me for a time. And then again, it just got to be a lot to manage. So yes, every now and then I'll have an email that I want to sort out and keep and organize, and this system will work for that. But for the most part, I don't always keep track of this. It just gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. So Pinterest is the main way now that I'm pinning ideas. Sometimes you can't do that. Idea may not be pinnable or whatever the case may be. So we may have one-off situations where I'll come here and I'll add it to a specific folder. But this is one system that I just don't think that I can keep up with right now. And to be honest, I'm not doing all the things anymore. Not doing the projects and all the things. I'm just tired. And so I really live a more simple life. I try to limit myself to the things that I get involved with. I try to just only do what really serves me and what really gives me excitement. And I still have a ton of projects here that I still need to pull from. So I don't always feel the need to add projects here. So this is definitely a capture system that I could see being up for elimination, okay? In addition to my purse planner. All right, and my personal and work email is the same, pretty much, capture and tasks. If I have something in here that's glaring or important, I'll flag it so that way I know that I need to revisit that. I do have to deal with an inbox, so I have to stay within my personal and my work inbox. It's not something that I can just omit altogether. It's just that this part of it, I know that I can't keep up with any longer. I'll just be dealing with my inboxes for both of my work and my personal email, okay? So now we know our capture system. Okay, so we are getting rid of certain parts of our work and our personal email. And we are also getting rid of our purse planner. I know, y'all. I feel so bad saying that because it was like a whole thing for me to create the purse planner. It's a gorgeous planner. I feel like it could serve me if I allowed it to, but I don't think I've given it a fair chance, again, because I'm just not a purse girl. And so when I'm running out the door, I'm typically just gonna take my phone, all right? And because everything's attached to my phone, I don't feel the need to always have to carry a wallet, okay? And my purse planner is within my wallet system. So that's gotta go. Okay, so y'all, we are progressing and moving forward. We eliminated 2-ish things off of our list. So we are doing great. And sometimes parting with things is very difficult. So I'm very proud of myself. And so now we need to move on to step 4 in the process, which is to simplify the task manager. Okay, this is the list again of the task managers that we're using. Planner, main source here to be able to capture. And so these get sorted into tasks, all right? And then also my purse planner was a task system, that's gone. And my calendar app, all right? Notion is not a task system. Apple Notes, none of these are. My work email, again, we talked about that briefly for tasks, all right? So let's dive into that system, my task system, all right? My main task system, again, is my regular planner. So there are 2 different sections within my planner that I work within. That's my personal section and my work section. So there's 2 different planners. And y'all, I would love, and I don't think this will ever happen for me, to combine my work planner and my personal planner. I just don't think that, I don't see it happening because I talked to you guys before about how my brain works. My brain works in sections. And so I'm not quite sure if I'll be able to combine them both, knowing how my brain works, if that makes sense. So I'll break down for you really briefly how my task system works. So this is my at a glance pages. This is my high level. So this is everything that I can plan for that I know about for the whole entire year. So I'll come here, I'll add it all here. And so what I do with this is that I take it from here into my monthly section. And what goes here typically is going to be, again, when I'm on the go, and I put an event here in my phone, I'll look at my phone and I'll transition it here. Some things I just know about, or I'm home already and I could just quickly write them in. But sometimes I'm on the go and I can't do that. So I'll need to put it in my phone, and that's typically going to go on my calendar, my regular calendar. All right, I have color codes, so I know if something is personal, I'll know if something is work related, I'll know if something is for our family, it's just a random thing, or it's theocratic, which is going to be in yellow. So I do color code my system. And then again, I'll come here, I'll put things here, I'll come here, I'll put things here. Because y'all, I need a reminder. I'm just that girl, I need a reminder. So these are my 2 high-level tools, and they are working for me. So as long as things are working, we're gonna keep them. Okay, so having your tasks spread out in 20 different places is definitely not the move. That's where the chaos starts. So you wanna pick one place if possible. Again, for me, it's going to be a couple of different places to store your tasks. Everything should be in one main spot, which that is true for me. One main spot. So that way you can just, and so for me, again, that's my planner. So I'm going to brain dump everything. I'm going to organize and just keep everything all here. And this is how my brain is, keeps itself from losing its mind. Okay. Otherwise I would lose my mind. So high level is here. So if you've got multiple roles like work and personal, like I do, that's why I keep things separate. So you may want to have 2 separate task managers, but the goal is to keep it simple. Everything in one spot for you to stay organized. That's why I love a good catch-all planner. So this is high level only for my personal life. So I'll, again, take things from here, put them in my phone if it needs a reminder. And then I'll take things from my phone that I've just put down in the moment, and I'll put it here in my planner system. So that's high level at a glance. Then it comes here to my monthly pages. So this is where I put everything that occurs on a monthly basis. This has been such a good task system for me. Again, this is just personal. And so I know everything that needs to be done. If there's a reminder that's needed, I've already set it. And then we drill down to the weekly. So on my weekly is where I take that particular week's of tasks, and I'll take that week and I'll add that week's tasks to that particular week in my planner. So like the week of the 16th, all of that would be on that particular week in my planner. There's a couple of other things that I keep within the week that help me to stay on track, which I newly implemented March wins. This doesn't have anything to do with tasks, but when it comes to Addison's tasks for her homeschool, I keep that in here. I do also keep it on the calendar, so that way I can remember. And then again, if I need a reminder, it is in my phone's calendars underneath whatever color code is for that particular part of my life. Then her schedule here. So this is really my main personal task manager. I don't forget anything because everything is here. And again, reminders go on my phone. So this personal task system is working for me. Now, there are some things that maybe I can simplify on, and maybe over time we'll maybe try to streamline it a little bit more. But for now, I just feel so good about this system. I tried to add a couple of other things at some point to this system that just didn't work out for me, like a daily schedule, a daily planner. You know, I don't think I'm in that season of my life where a daily planner would work that well for me. I just don't feel like I need it broken down that much in terms of my home life. I also tried the priority matrix to-do list just to kind of see how that would look for me. I'm not quite sure yet, again, if I need this deep of a, of a list and things broken down in this way. And then every now and then I'll use these planning ahead inserts as a task system as well to get me a little bit ahead, so that way I could see what I have coming up. So this is a great insert, and I've already got everything planned for April. And so this is great for just random thoughts, ideas, things like that. So this is a little bit of a capture system, if you will, but mainly it's for tasks. All right, so this is my personal task system, and then this is my work task system, which looks very similar. We've got the monthly calendar here, and then we're able to drill down to the weeks. Okay, and my weeks are crazy. And so this is the current week here, and we've got a lot going on. So this is a great system for me as well because of how I have everything broken down. So I break things down by the different parts of my business. I make sure that I'm very specific with every single thing that I need to get done. As a whole, it may look like a lot, but when you break it down like this, it's really not a lot. I know, like for instance, on Friday, I've got 3 posts for Fancy Plans Go, 1 post for At Home with Quita, and then I'm going to try to do 4 posts for Food and Fit. I've got to make sure I post for Monetize. Those are simple tasks. I know because I'm in my groove now. I know how to do things. So I'm more efficient now. I also need to bulk film a couple of things. And so this right here pretty much only takes me a few hours a day. Now, if I have to film a video, it's going to take a little bit longer. But because of the way that I have this system broken down and how detailed it is, I also know what I'm doing for TikTok Shop. I know all of the products that I have that I could promote. I also have a list of inserts I want to create. I have everything broken down so detailed that this system is just genius for me. So I'm very much content with my task system for my work and for my personal. So I think that there's nothing really that I need to change for that. So really everything is contained all within this system for work and personal. I do have other parts of my life, of course, that are factored into this whole thing, but I try to transition or add all of those various things to where they go. So if it's a work thing, even if it's split out in this section, it's going to go in my work planner. If it's personal, for instance, my meal planner. I meal plan, of course, and so that I don't have to just come revisiting this section every other time besides when I'm sitting down to meal plan, I keep it on my weekly calendar. Okay, so I just do that at the beginning of the week. I know what I'm having. Sometimes I'll do it for the whole entire month. And then I'll just pop it in right here. So that way I know I don't have to keep toggling back and forth. I could just literally stay in my personal section or my work section. Okay, same for whatever other tasks that may fit into work. All right, so we're not going to dig into these sections Because again, I may come in here, write in a couple of things, and I have a lot of things for reference in those sections, but I always bring them out and add them here, okay? So my task system is working pretty well. I don't really feel the need to take anything away. I'm going to keep my planner, of course. I'm going to keep my calendar app because I need it for reminders. I'm going to keep my work email, of course, and my personal email. That's all going to stay. And we already talked about Notion staying, and Apple Notes has got to stay too, you guys. I have a feeling that the only thing that's going to go is maybe my purse planner. Okay, so let's really briefly talk about step 5, which is to keep your calendar simple. Now, again, I have multiple calendars. If you have to have multiple calendars, I say do you. Again, I talked about ideally how I would like to simplify even further and put everything in one planner. But I think now that I've kind of gone over everything with you, you see why it's just great for me to be able to have multiple, but some people can't. So you need to pick one system and stick with it. Okay, so you can't have an Apple calendar. You can't have a work planner and a personal planner. It's too much for you to manage, and that's okay. So the goal here is to just keep it simple. So everything needs to be what's going to work best for you. So just remember to keep your calendar system simple, whatever that may be for you. So that's step 5. Simplicity always works. Step 6 is to keep your notes simple too. So that's what we're going to talk about next, our note system. Okay, so there's a couple of different ways I keep notes. I don't do too many notes in here. If I'm honest, I may do a quick note on the sidebar if I want to make sure I tackle it for that week and I don't need to write it somewhere else, only to transfer it back into this. So I have a couple of different note-taking systems, okay? And we're going to talk through those. So my first note-taking system is my new learning notebook. And this is really laser focused on a specific type of notes. I'm trying to learn a lot of things in 2025. And my thought on this was to be able to have different sections. I have 3 sections here. My husband and I are looking to maybe possibly open a marketing agency, so I need to learn. Okay, so I have a section for that. I'm trying to grow on YouTube, so I have a book called YouTube Secrets that I've had for some time that I want to dig into. And then there is as a part of our marketing firm, there's a software we have that I want to learn. So I have added 3 sections here, so that way I could just start to tackle the learning process. And ideally, you guys, yes, I do think that this is going to work out great for me. And I'm going to probably keep it just because I just created it and I want to really give it a fair chance. But if I'm honest, I would love to just pop a notes section in my planner and put all the notes there. I'm all about having one system right now. And yeah, we talked through a couple of different systems, some digital and some digital and some physical, like my planner's physical. That's my main system. And that's the system that I want to really use for everything, but I just don't think it's realistic right now to be able to, put this aside in order to have one system when it comes to notes. So this system I'm gonna keep at least until I give it a fair chance, and maybe I'll create a note section in my planner and then with just a few sheets of paper, pull them out and put them in this notebook. I'm not quite sure how this is going to factor in yet, but I definitely want a simple note system, but I still have to give it a chance in order to be able to know that, okay? So you don't need a million places for notes. You want to stick to a couple of different types, okay? So here's my first type, and this is going to be my reference eventually. We talked about Notion earlier and how I kind of use that to capture, but I also use that for notes. But we're going to keep that classified as a capture system, all right? And then also when it comes to my notes, I do use Apple Notes. And I kind of talked to you about that a little bit earlier and kind of how I have everything organized. I have that also classified as ideas. And so I mainly do use it for notes. Again, quick notes, quick thoughts, but then also quick ideas as well to just get it out of my head so that I can take it here and transition it into my planner. So this is my second note system. Okay, my third note system, and I guess you kind of consider it notes. And I want to give it a fair chance too. So I've been trying to really keep up with it. And that is my 1 line a day journal. Okay. And I think that's kind of considered notes, right? So I'm still working within February. And what I've been able to do here, instead of having a full on journal, is to be able to just write in 1 line a day. And that just keeps things so much more simple. I feel like a journal was just so hard for me to keep up with. I'm not the journal girly that I thought I was. And so being able to just write 1 line a day, boom, bam, pow, this is what happened today, and keep it pushing forward, but also still have a way to look back on all of this. And so I'm going to keep trying it. So this is a note system that I think I'll keep. And so really it's just this notes, which really only comes out at certain times of the day when I'm ready to learn. And then I'm going to put it back on my shelf or, you know, where I typically keep it. So this is my notes system and I'm not mad at it. So I'm going to keep this. But you want to only use what works for you. Everything else, get rid of it. So move away from all the little extra notebooks that you have laying around that have random notes in it and try to stick to one note system. And again, for me, that's going to be my phone. And then these other two are just supplemental for the different other types of planning that I do and note taking that I do. All right. So step 6 is to keep your notes simple. All right. And so step 7 is to ditch the extras, all right? So it's time to say goodbye to the stuff you're not actually using. So let's bring it all back full circle, okay? Again, these are all the different types of systems, productivity tools, productivity systems that you need to have in place. Capture, a place to manage your tasks, your calendar system, your note-taking system. Core 4, okay? We've narrowed it down again to all of my productivity systems, so you know what I'm working with. We've been able to eliminate some things. This is a question mark for me, the learning notebook. We're gonna see how it works out for me. This one I'm gonna keep for now. And so you wanna make sure that you say goodbye to the stuff that you're not actually using. So for me, that definitely means this baby's gotta go. I know, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. And again, life be lifing, and you never know where you may be, you know, next week or a month from now or a week from now or a year from now. Maybe this is something that I'll reintroduce and give it another chance and see what season I am in my life. And maybe at that time I may need a purse planner. Maybe I'm carrying a purse at that time. I'm a sweet old lady that carries her purse. Who knows? Okay. So I'm not ruling that out. I'm just saying for me right now, that's a part of my productivity system that I cannot keep up with any longer. Okay. We also talked about my personal and work email folders, how I was kind of organizing things and sorting things out and how that's just not going to work for me anymore. So that's a system that I'm getting rid of and I'm no longer going to be using. So I feel very good about this system. Okay. All right, here's the last step in the process. Step 8 is very important, and that's your maintenance routine. So you've done the work. So now it's time to make sure that you keep up with the maintenance of everything. So whether that be setting a reminder to check in on your system weekly or monthly to keep it clean, that way things don't start creeping back in. All right. So don't let that hard work that you've done go to waste. So again, we've got all of our systems in place. Note system here. These are strictly notes. My phone is double duty, not just for notes. So that's my note system, feeling really good about that. And then also my main system, some of it which I use for notes. Mainly, this is my task and calendar system. I also use it to capture things. So this is my main productivity tool, all right? We also have my calendar app on my phone, which is used for my tasks as well. We have Notion, which is used for my notes, my capture idea. We have our Apple Notes, which is great for my notes and ideas as well. My work and personal email, which we have decided to no longer keep organized and sorted out like that. Of course, we'll add things as needed. If I see an idea that I want to sort into a folder, an email that I need to categorize, we'll do that. And we'll flag it for tasks that we need to add to our planner. All right. And that's pretty much the extent of my system. I know it sounded like a lot in this video, but this is really it for me. These are my main tools that I use to keep myself productive and organized. It felt really, really good to talk everything out with you guys so that way you can kind of get the sense of how my mind works and how I was able to really clean the system out, even if it was just talking through things, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of my system is digital. I do a hybrid of both, but my main, again, is my planner here that I use for very much everything in my life. And without this system, I would not be able to be as productive as I am. So that's my system, you guys. It just, again, was so refreshing to talk it out with you guys. So thanks for listening. And don't forget the steps in the process for you as well. If that's something that you want to do, kind of talk through all of the various tools that you use to stay productive, see what you can get rid of, see what you can keep, what do you need, what don't you need, what is causing you stress. Just sometimes a system, having too much involved within your system can bring stress, and we don't want that. Okay, we've X'd off what we're not using. We've question marked one that maybe we will do away with. We'll see how it all works out. We want to give it a fair chance. And we've checked off everything that we want to keep, but maybe we have tweaked it a little bit. Okay, so it's not always about getting rid of the system altogether. Sometimes you just need to make a couple of tweaks to make it work for you. So follow these steps. Again, first step in the process, you need to know what type of systems you need or how that looks for you. And then you want to write out your whole entire productivity system. And then from there, you want to clean things up. You want to simplify things, and you want to make sure you get rid of what you don't need, and then figure out how you're going to maintain it all. All right. And then once you do that, you'll be on track. And that's it, girl. You're now rocking a productivity system that's simple and ready to help you get all the things done. All right. So go crush it. All right. So thank you guys so much for catching today's video. I feel like sometimes videos are designed to help me, and in turn, hopefully they help you as well. A win is a win, right? I really appreciate you for stopping by. Let me know, have you done this before? Have you heard of this? I thought it was so cool, and just a way to kind of put things in perspective and see what you got going on. And it's always a good idea to go back, revisit things, assess things, and see how they look for you. Okay, so I appreciate you for stopping by once again. Hopefully you've been inspired in some way. You'll try this. Come back and check in with me and let me know if you do. Of course, if you're new here, I would love it if you join the family. Subscribe, hit the like button, all the things. And of course, come back and catch me for another video, in which case I'll see you then.